Welcome to the 7th Ricky Gervais show on podcast. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Now, talking of that, that's only 5 to go then, isn't it? 5 to go in this series of 12.
Oh, still seems a lot though, doesn't it?
We'll take a little break. I'm sure we'll come back through popular demand, I'm hoping.
Yep.
I'm hoping to put that on the poster, back by popular demand.
Well, I'm hoping it's by overwhelming public demand.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
My favourite.
Yeah. As we're doing it for nothing.
Yeah.
We want to get a little bit of a pat on the back, don't
Exactly, please. Do they give awards out for podcasting?
Oh, if they do, hoo-hoo, hello, I am already writing my speech, baby. I was thinking that everyone listening, if you want to register your email with us, we'll let you know when we're back on air. Maybe later in the year. Go to rickygervais.com and just register, and then when I do a general mail out, I'll let you all know when Karl Pilkington is back.
You are a good guy to these people, Rick.
No sweat.
Now, there's been an awful lot of correspondence. It's backing up there. We've got acres of it to get through.
It is a bit mental, actually, but it's very flattering, and thank you all. And people have sent such brilliant things in and spent so much time doing them. There's someone sent in this mock-up of, we were talking about the those Russian sort of iconoclastic artifacts, and someone's mocked up Karl Pilkington as Saint Karl the Bewildered. It's brilliant. It's so good.
Can we put those on the web?
Yeah, I think let's put that up on rickygervais.com, and that's from Joe Murray in Philadelphia. We've also got one which is a little work of art from Ed Ferrari, and it's the three of us in a studio, and it's just great.
It's a very flattering picture of you there, Rick. You look about 14.
I know, I've come out very well in this. Karl, he's got a head like a fucking orange. Look at that! Yeah. And you, well, I don't know what you are. Your head is about 2 foot long, and in real life it's only 18 inches long, isn't it? So he's exaggerated yours a little bit. But it's a lovely drawing. We'll put that up on the web as well. Just, everyone go to rickygervais.com, everyone register, please, and we'll email you. And everyone, keep sending stuff in, so thank you very much.
Karl, Joe from Bradford asks, what body parts can you live without? He wants to know. He's obviously having sleepless nights thinking about this.
What, so...
With a brain.
He's coped this far.
So the bits that I've got now, if I had to get rid of one of them, what wouldn't I miss?
Yes.
See, I did a bit of an experiment on this, right?
Brilliant.
It's my job at home to wash up, right? Suzanne does.
She gives you all the really big responsible ones. Yeah. She sort of like pays the bills and wires the house, and you go, what can I do? And you can go, well, you can go and play with the worms in the garden.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's my job to wash up and that, right? And I thought to sort of make it interesting and stuff. I thought, I wonder if I can do it, right? If I didn't have any thumbs.
And so what did you do?
So I just sort of
sliced off your thumbs.
I just sort of held them in, and it's amazing how, like, it took me ages. Just having that one thing gone.
Well, it's part of our evolution, the opposable thumb. Basically, that's when we soared. These are milestones in human evolution. The opposable thumb, the forward-facing eyes, the upright. These are massive things in taking us out of the animal kingdom.
And one day, Karl, you'll walk upright.
But what do you mean about eyes facing forward? You mean before we got here, there was people whose eyes were looking in their head? I don't understand. Is that what you mean?
No, because when we got sort of binocular vision, where we could, you know, because we were predators have a forward face. I'm going way back. I'm not just saying. I'm not saying chimps had eyes on the side of their head, but I'm saying big, major milestones in any evolution.
Mm.
I lost you at evolution.
Yeah. So when you were doing this experiment, washing up, you say that you found it difficult. It took you ages. So you didn't just give up once you realised how essential thumbs were. No, you actually washed up everything.
I just think of Suzanne walking in and Karl's there, just covered in water and fairy liquid suds, standing on a pile of broken crockery.
Yeah, plunging his face into the sink every 30 seconds and just swishing his head around.
But we talked about the washing up thing before, haven't we? When I was stood there washing up, and I sort of look out of a window, so the sink's in front of the window.
Yeah.
And that's why I quite like washing up, because I can just look out onto the street, see people going past. There's like a local homeless fella called Franco. You know, I look out that he's all right and everything.
Sure.
But I was looking across the way, right, and there's some there's some Chinese people who live in a flat, right, really small flat, and they're up till all hours. I don't know what they're doing, but they decide to back up at about 3:30 in the morning. And that. They're always really noisy and that. But above them, there was some woman, right, who the sort of bedroom is on par to our kitchen, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sort of washing up.
Yeah.
And I sort of look across and see this woman with like, you know, no pants on and that, no bra and that.
Naked.
Yeah, just
That's the word you're looking for.
yeah, she's just wandering about, you know, on that. So I was like, oh, what's going on here? So I carried on washing up and that, right? And kept looking, and then I was looking and she looked at me. Right? So we made eye contact.
Sure.
So I was like, oh God, right? So what I thought the best thing to do was sort of drop me pants a little bit. just a little bit, just like, you know, I had boxer shorts on and that. I thought if I just show a little bit of sort of arse cheek, then it's kind of like, right, we quits. Right?
I don't understand the thinking.
So Suzanne's watching the telly, right? I think she was watching Sex and the City or something.
Yeah.
She sort of turns around to see how I'm getting on with the washing up, right? She sees me with, like, me pants sort of down a little bit with my arse out. She said, what are you doing? I said, don't look now. I said, but there's a woman over the road, right, with no pants on and that. She caught me looking. I'm just giving her a bit back.
I love the fact that he explains the rules, and Suzanne's meant to go, okay.
That makes sense. But I don't. So hang on. So you showed a bit of your arse. You turned presumably to show the arse. Or waggled the arse at the woman.
I had to lift it up a little bit on the sort of on the draining board.
What? Hang on though. What did she do? Did you register her reaction when she saw a bit of your arse? What happened?
When she saw my arse,
yeah.
Well, then I wasn't looking because I thought, in a way, I don't want it to look like, well, I've seen a bit of your stuff, here's a bit of mine. I just thought, at the end of the day, I caught a glance of you.
It's only fair.
You've had a bit back. You know, I'm not making a big deal out of it.
I genuinely think James Stewart missed a trick here in Rear Window.
Yeah.
This would have been, you know, a much better film had James Stewart just popped his pants down.
It would have given a whole new meaning to the title Rear Window.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tricky though. I seem to be surrounded by people like that because I've told you before. There's the old woman across the way who's just sat there reading a book. I look through everybody's windows like that. Remember that film, that Sliver or something?
Okay, right.
When they've got video cameras.
Yeah.
I'm just looking onto everybody's world and just seeing what people are getting up to. There's nothing wrong with that.
Brilliant.
That's why I like washing up.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Chris has emailed a mantra for Karl. We were talking about famous mantras and sayings and things.
Yeah.
Never has a mank said so much to so many that means so little.
Brilliant.
So you can have that on your headstone. Rupert.
Your little round headstone.
Rupert's in the Isle of Man. He says, I don't know if you knew this, Karl, but apparently octopus's testicles are located in their heads.
Yeah. But then, to me, that isn't that amazing, because at the end of the day, an octopus, really, all it is an head.
So everything it's got has to be in the head?
It has to be in the head. It'd look daft if they dangled down below. Right? So all it is... I mean, there's a lot of facts...
It'd look daft if they dangled down below. I'm wondering again, that's almost... I don't think you should start sending them in, but that could almost be the B-side to...
B-side to
Knob at Night.
I could eat a knob at night.
James Round says, Karl, if you could be anyone in the world, who would it be?
Dead or alive.
Why would you choose to be a dead person?
No, but sometimes, like, there's people who are now dead, but everybody raves about them.
Like
but are you saying... But he wants you to live that life, not have been that person. Are you saying that if you chose Napoleon, you'd be Napoleon, but he'd be back to life, walking around now on the bus, or it'd be the 18th century, or what? What are you saying?
What I mean is, if...
Oh, just answer the question. Who would you be and why? It's someone you admire or you think had a good life. Just answer the question.
But what I mean is, it's good to be remembered, like Winston Churchill is remembered as being a decent bloke, but I wouldn't want the hassle that he had. So I don't want to live his life.
Right.
but it's good to be...
You'd like to be Winston Churchill, but you'd like to have a paper round instead of...
Saving the world.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, but is he saying whose job would I want to take on?
It's not that complicated.
The question is this: if he could be anyone in the world, who would Karl be? That's the question. That's all the information I've got.
A lot of responsibility on a lot of jobs, isn't there?
So, some of the names flowing through your head now?
I was thinking, Bruce Willis.
I never expected that! I never expected that!
So his responsibility in your mind is what? Saving people who are trapped in a building with terrorists?
Well, yeah, maybe, you know, his worries are different worries. With, you know, people who have a lot of money come other worries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So Bruce Willis, he's always going on these marches, isn't he, saying stop war and all that. Mainly because he's got, you know, he's got more to lose if there's a war. He's got loads of houses. One of them's going to get damaged. Whereas if you're poor, you've got the one house. If there's a war, it's like, oh, just end it all for me then. I'm sick of it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
Whereas Bruce, yeah.
With successful life and happy life, there's more for you to lose, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like at the moment, because I've finished a job that I've been at for 10 years, right? I've finished working there, so suddenly I've got me timetable's a bit out, and I haven't got enough of a routine, and I'm a man who likes to know what I'm doing. Right? Yeah. So now suddenly
5 until 7, washing up with no thumbs.
I've sort of turned into like an old person, where the little jobs that you shouldn't enjoy are now the main event. So
but hold on though, how old are you? You're 31, aren't you?
32.
32? And you're pottering around, not knowing what to do with yourself.
Well, like yesterday, Suzanne's shoes needed to go to the cobblers, right?
I haven't heard the word cobblers.
I didn't even know cobblers still existed.
I only ever see that in Christmas films made by Disney.
Well, I had to go and do that, and that suddenly...
Because last time you were going to the toffee shop. Yeah! And then you went to the cobblers. Next week it's the candlestick maker.
But all I mean is, that suddenly is a nice little day out. I'm sort of putting my coat on, going, right, I'll go and see the cobbler now and go and have a chat.
Tell me about the cobbler.
You didn't come back with 3 magic beans, did you?
No, the cobbler's alright. He's doing, he's fixing
cobbling.
Shoes and that.
He's cobbling all day.
Have I told you about, my Uncle Alf, who was a cobbler?
No.
I'm sure I told you about him. He's the one who, he lived in like a bedsit, and he had 2 tellies. He had like one that the sound didn't work on, and one that the picture didn't. But both together, it worked.
Oh right, okay.
So as long as he was watching the same channel on both, sound came out of one telly, and he'd watch the picture on the other.
Brilliant.
And he slept in like a rubber dinghy, right? But he was.
Whoa! You can't just let that slide. Why did he sleep in a rubber dinghy?
He just like boats and stuff, and he sort of...
Yeah, I like boats, but they're better on the water. Beds are better to sleep on. Boats are better to sail on.
Well, he just had it in there. It's a bed set. It was really tight space.
Boat set.
He's got this.
He moved into a dinghy set.
He's got this dinghy, so he's thinking, well, rather than it get in the way, I might as well use it.
Yeah.
Right? But he was a cobbler, and he used to like repair like my shoes and that, right?
Yeah.
But he'd always sort of overdo them. Right, so...
What do you mean?
Like,
fancy.
Do you know, like, Pimp My Ride on MTV?
Yeah.
Because he does up shoes, he'd go mental on them.
What do you mean? There was the stereo.
Yeah.
Well, no.
There was horns.
It's like...
Here
Go
comes
faster
Karl
stripes down the side.
Yeah. Here comes Mr. Pilkington. He's got the fastest shoes in the land.
No, it just makes shoes that would last forever. So instead of putting, like, 1 sole on, he'd put about 5 on. So it looked like one of them built-up shoes. That you never see. It just put loads of stuff on. They'd last forever, but they did.
But they look like orthopaedic shoes.
Yeah. It just like suddenly I was like 6'7" whenever he'd sort of sorted my shoes out. But he's a cobbler, and it's work. That's always there for you, isn't it?
I suppose so.
So you went out with to take Suzanne's shoes to the cobbler.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So I just took him to the cobblers and that was like a nice little job for the day. I got a leaflet through the door saying, if you want to walk a dog, the rates are good. I don't know what they pay and that, but I got a little letter in my little letterbox saying, if you're free in the day,
what they pay you to walk a dog?
They pay you to walk a dog and that. And I thought if I do that and get a paper round, 2 in 1.
Sorry, you just went from a job, right, where you were the head of production at a radio station, dare I say it, on... can I discuss your...
Well, it was an alright wage, yeah.
It was very good.
But I wasn't happy, so it's pointless.
No, I know that, but to go from the head of a department on a lot of money to walking dogs and doing a paper round, I don't know.
No, but it's about being happy, isn't it?
I know, but that's commendable if that's true, but... okay.
And that makes you happier?
Well, I haven't walked the dog yet, but I'm just saying if I do... I mean, I'm not taking it if it's raining. I'm just thinking if it's a nice sunny day and I fancy a potter, I'll go round to her and say, well, how much are you paying? I'll take the dog a walk and stuff.
But I can't believe some of the words that have cropped up in this. It's 2006 now. Potter, cobblers, toffee shop. It's very, very strange.
Do you live in Narnia?
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Right, a lot of people are sort of emailing in sort of brainy stuff.
Brilliant.
Right, which, you know, the more the merrier. I'm happy getting all this stuff, and if you know, it grabs my eye, I'll run it by you and you can sort of tell me about it and that. And getting a lot of stuff about philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. Descartes, that's another one that's mentioned on an email.
Descartes.
Yeah.
The French philosopher.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, he sort of cropped up on an email. Someone said, what do you think of him? And I was like, oh, I don't know.
He, famously, he pondered his own existence, cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. He was thinking about that. He was thinking, how do I know all this is true, everything around me? And he thought, well, I can see it, and I can smell it, and I can hear it. And he went, oh yeah, but my senses can be fooled. I could be dreaming. And he thought, well, that's true, I could be dreaming. But if I'm dreaming, then at least I'm alive. At least I have some sort of consciousness. So if I'm even thinking about anything, you know, I exist. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum.
But we don't need to know the Latin bit. Why is everyone always going back to Latin? It was ages ago. Why is that language always being... And were Latin people always in a rush? Because they seem to be like words for full sentences. Why couldn't they just take the time and say what they want to say? And it's just like, what was the rush?
I love you to teach Latin!
What about Plato?
Right, Greek.
Right, now, would you say he's a bright bloke?
Yes, I would. I'd say he's a very, very bright bloke.
Right, let me tell you this. Right, if he's that bright, you know how he got killed?
No.
Got hit on the head by an egg.
Fucking hell! Well, he's not so clever then, is he?
That's what I'm saying.
Boo!
What's the story with the egg?
He was on holiday or something, right? And...
He was on holiday.
In Greece, probably.
He was having a walk about, and a bird was flying over his sort of.
This
over the
bird
beach.
was what? A great auk? What size bird killed him with his egg?
It was a big one, yeah.
Was it?
And the way they used to crack
an ostrich on a hang glider.
The way they used to crack the eggs open to let the kids out, they used to drop them on rocks.
What bird is this? Dropping its egg to let the kids out? You're a maniac! You are a maniac!
And Plato had a little bald head.
Right.
So from the top, the bird's there looking down, and it goes, oh, there's a little rock, I'll drop the egg. Hit him on the head. Killed him. Now, this is what I was saying before about...
I'm letting too much go now, because I'm so desensitised to his nonsense. I let him go. The bird saw Plato and said, there's a rock down there.
Yeah. Well, if these birds are killing people with bald heads, you've got to be terrified.
So, but listen, this is what I'm saying though, right? Before about knowledge and that, how knowledge is hassle, or success is hassle.
I think that was Newton. Knowledge is hassle.
Now, why is Plato's intelligence got anything to do with the fact that this bird dropped an egg on his head?
Because he was intelligent, and he's probably earning a nice few quid
Yeah.
by giving out whatever messages he gave out.
Yeah.
He could afford to go on holiday to exotic places. If he was working in a factory, he wouldn't have been on this beach with big birds dropping eggs, is what I'm saying. So, in a way, it backfired. His knowledge killed him.
And that, I think, was Kierkegaard. His knowledge killed him.
I mean, where you got this stuff about him being on holiday?
Well, he shouldn't have been on the beach. He was only there having a break or whatever from doing what he does. It wouldn't have happened if he wasn't on holiday.
Again, I can't remember which show this was that we were discussing this, but we talked about well-known phrases and quotes from the past. We talked about Benjamin Franklin. People have this is an email we've had saying, Karl, what do you take by the well-known saying, "A stitch in time saves 9"? A stitch in time saves 9.
Oh, a stitch in time saves 9. Yeah.
See, it's another one that I don't think I've picked up on a lot of these sayings that are being sort of thrown about willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Okay.
Willy-nilly.
No, but I again, it's one of them like last week. I've heard of it, but
what does willy-nilly mean?
Just sort of like throwing it about all over the place.
What do you mean? But what someone said, what does the term willy-nilly mean?
It just sort of means, carefree.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
So
but what
that's
does a
good.
stitch in time
So
save
you
9
understood
mean?
willy-nilly, so you used a
Yeah, but it
phrase.
sounds
I mean,
nicer,
you used
doesn't
it,
it?
you said it willy-nilly, but you sort of got the gist of it. So what does a stitch in time saves 9 mean?
I don't know.
What do you
must
mean you
know.
don't know? Think about it. A stitch in time saves 9.
Is it to do with sewing?
Well, yeah, sort of. So
Okay,
if-
it's not that clear.
So if you got a jacket,
Yeah.
and the seam starts coming undone, oh, there's a little bit of seam. I'll leave it. Oh, it's getting worse and
Right,
worse. Soon
right.
your sleeve falls off. So you just need 1 stitch there. That'll do it. If you do it now, later you'll need 9 stitches. And that, of course, is an analogy to other things. If you leave something that needs attention or repair, it'll get worse. So do it now. Do it in time.
Yeah, but
They could have said a tile in time saves 9 on your roof. They just used a sewing analogy.
But it depends if you're busy at that point, because if you've got something else that needs doing, that means that isn't being done because you're messing about sorting out a hole in your coat. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
You can't always do stuff straight away. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know if there's a sort of a middle ground where you don't have to do it straight away, but stitching
A stitch sometimes
time,
today.
say in 15 or whatever, meaning you don't have to do it straight away, but just do it before it gets really bad.
Brilliant. Do you think yours is less poetic than a stitch in time saves 9? So yours this is what you wanted to be a quote, right? Well, you could do it now, but if you're doing something else, then, don't do it immediately, but do it soon so it doesn't get really bad. Karl Pilkington.
No, but it's the same. That's the same way I treat most things in life. It's like I never go to the doctors unless it's really
That is sensible.
bad.
That is very good advice.
No.
That's brilliant advice
Well,
for
it
anyone
is, though.
listening. Never go to the doctors.
Unless it's really bad.
But that's why a lot of people, particularly working class people, die because they don't want to bother the doctor, or they're mildly embarrassed, or they don't know symptoms, bad symptoms. Go to the doctor if you're not sure about something. Like you were terrified to go and have your prostate.
Still not doing it.
Why not?
I wish you wouldn't talk about it, because now Suzanne will listen to this and she'll go, "Oh yeah, you haven't been," and start dragging it up again.
But why are you worried about a little a qualified doctor?
I don't know what they're doing up there.
What they
What
just
year
pop
are we in?
They what are you talking about? They pop their finger up.
That's what I mean, though.
Why?
Well, it's 2006.
Yeah.
Why are they still using the index finger?
What, would you prefer the forefinger or the thumb, would
No.
you?
No, what I mean is, we've got...
Or a thumb on a stick, some kind of thumb on a stick.
Yeah, would you prefer it to
a
be
mechanical thumb, a
Oh,
robot
okay.
thumb.
Why isn't it just a little camera? Or something that can...
They're
have-
go-
Well, they
well-
put the camera up if they initially discover something.
but just put the camera up straight away. If I'm
No,
paying
they
for
don't
the
need
visit.
to. They pop the finger up, feel that the prostate isn't swollen, wiggle it around a little bit up your back passage. What are you worried about?
I don't think they need to do
Are
that.
you
in this
embarrassed?
day
Are
and
you
age.
embarrassed about being in a room with your trousers around your ankles and a little fella popping
A
his...
little bit, yeah.
Why?
And the other thing is, it's not just that, is it? So you go in there, they check your heart out and that, which to me is the most important thing, because that's what keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? You've got to go there. You
Yeah.
sat on the bus, stressing out, thinking, "Oh, in less than half an hour, I'm going to have a finger up the arse," right?
What is the problem
And they go
there?
in, they check your heart, they probably check your testicles and that.
What's up with that? They take your testicles, yeah?
Yeah,
That's
but it's all building, and you've sat there going, "Oh, soon that'll be happening."
Yeah.
And that's what puts me off.
So if they just came round when you were asleep, Suzanne just let them in and goes, "He's over there," right? And they crept up and went, bang. You go, "What are you
prefer that?
doing?"
I just don't understand why they don't teach you how to do it yourself.
How can they?
Wow.
How can they teach? Imagine you squatting in a corner with one hand on your bollocks and the other finger up the arse going, "It seems to be alright."
Carl, you don't understand the phrase "a stitch in time saves 9." I don't think you should be doing any kind of invasive medical research in your own human body.
But then
Who knows what trouble you're going to cause?
No, but then at least
You would get stuck.
Yeah.
You would get stuck.
Susanna come out, your fist would be up your own arse. Okay, I think it's probably time. Let me just check my watch. Yeah, it's monkey news time.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, you.
Right. Last week we talked about, you know, the one who was good at getting up buildings and that for putting out fires and stuff. Ended up working for the fire department.
Yeah, not true, but sure. Yeah.
But if the building had good grippage, he was right up there.
Yeah, it's not true, but go on.
So this week, anyway, it's more about tall buildings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was this bloke who was a builder.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you know what builders are like? They sort of move about, don't they, from sort of building to building, just building.
Well, yeah. Well, once they built it, the building's done, and they move on to build some more.
Building to building, just building. Yeah.
So he goes to his next job and that, right?
Who does, the builder?
The builder.
Yep.
He goes to like the boss,
new building.
the boss of this building, who's building it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And he says what unto him?
Do you need anything building?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, he says, yeah, there's plenty of work and that going about.
Yep.
He says, we're working on this one here. He said, get going on it, like, there's your bricks and your cement and stuff, get on with it.
Yeah.
Any plans? Just build.
Just start building.
Yeah. Go up.
They're getting on with it and stuff, it's all going well.
Yep.
But he notices that there's someone working high up, right, on the top bit.
Sure.
Because do you know, like, there's girders and stuff on these big buildings.
Yeah.
And he's still building the bottom bit,
and
which
he's
is weird.
Yeah, well, that's the way they do it there, apparently, just to sort of speed it up, work from top to middle, from top to bottom.
Sure, that's in imaginary land.
We put the spire on, now we better do the foundations, and then put some stuff in the middle to keep it up there.
So anyway, he's saying to, like, the other workers, he's going, who's that up there?
Who's that up there?
Who's working on his own?
The little fella, was he?
And,
the little hairy fella up there.
Who's the little hairy fella up there with the hard hat?
And the other fellas were going, look, you know, don't ask questions, you know, the boss decides who he takes on, we're happy to be getting paid here.
Don't ask questions! Yeah. Well, I'll see him when he comes down.
So he said, well, it's pretty impressive, you know, the work rate he's doing, the way he's getting from one girder to the other.
Swinging, is he?
He doesn't seem to be scared of the heights or anything. He said, no, just let him get on with it, you know, we work well as a team. So anyway.
What nonsense is this?
So
he believes all this.
Yep.
So he sees the boss and he goes, that fella up there, who's the fella up there? He's pretty good. And he's like, look, you know, just get on with the job, yeah, I'll pay you. Let's just all get on with our jobs and that. Lunchtime comes, they're all sat on a little wall having the sandwiches. He's thinking he'll come down in a bit. He's just carrying on.
Is he just still going?
Still going on that, right? So the fella says to the boss man, he says, isn't that fella up there going to come down and join us for lunch? He said, like I said, mate, don't worry about him, right? He said,
very secretive. I'm suspicious about this fella. I don't know. I don't know why he's working through his lunch. I don't know why he's not scared of heights. I don't know why he's swinging from girder to girder. It's weird. Go on.
So he said, oh, anyway, you've reminded me that he's up there. He said he's doing a lot of riveting and stuff up there. He probably needs some more nuts to...
Right, sure. And what kind of nuts is that? Is that nuts to food, or...?
So he said, what, nuts? He said, yeah, just, there's a bag full of them there. Just put them on the hook, send them up, and he can get on with his job. So anyway, he picks these nuts up, right? Yep. Just hooks them on. He thinks they're not that heavy, considering, you know, I mean, they're normally pretty heavy, aren't they? Like, nuts and bolts and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, he has a little glance in.
Oh, no, what's in there?
Nuts.
What, you mean nuts that you can eat?
Nuts that you can eat, right? So they send the bag up, and he's thinking, what's all that about? He checks him out, starts to stare, works it out. You can see that he's a little chimp running about, so he goes, I'm not happy with this.
Why isn't he?
Because he's working for an organisation that's, you know, there's unions for this sort of stuff, isn't there?
Yeah, he's not going, that's amazing. They've got a chimp riveting this building together. Yeah, that's not scary. He's wondering if they're breaking union rules.
So he goes...
You don't have to talk.
So he goes and has a word with the boss.
He goes to the boss and he goes, look, I've worked out what you're playing at here.
Yeah.
He said, all them out
Is
there...
the boss sitting in a tyre?
He said, all them lot out there might not be wise to what's going on here. He said, but I've clocked it, and you're sending nuts up to it. It's a monkey, it's not on. So he goes, look, you know, we're just all trying to earn a living here. He said, don't get involved in it. I'm happy to pay you, but I'm paying him. Don't interfere.
He's paying him?
And he's saying, look, I'm just not happy with this. It's not allowed. So the boss was saying, well...
We pay peanuts, we get monkeys.
He said, to be honest, mate, you know, he's a great worker. He's known for doing what he does. He's a good grafter. If one of you's going to go, right, I'm afraid I'll have to let you go, because he's been here longer than that.
Yeah.
He was made redundant.
None of that happened.
He was laid off.
None of that happened.
He's laid off and that. And that's where that saying about you know, like there's a lot of tower blocks and that in America. It's like the chimp off the old block is where. So that's monkey news.
Thanks for listening to this podcast.
Who was it hosted by?
It was hosted by a great bunch of guys called Positive Internet. They host the #1 podcast in the world, The Ricky Gervais Show, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Goodbye.
and Karl Pilkington. Hello, welcome to the 8th in this series of 12 podcasts, The Ricky Gervais Show, with The Guardian. I'm Ricky Gervais. Hello. With me, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
So, thank you again for all your emails. We're getting thousands. We're up to about 250,000 hits a week now, people listening to this show.
Blimey.
250,000 people bothering to go in and listen to this show.
Nothing else in their lives. Nothing
All around the
better to
world.
do.
It's unbelievable, though. North America, Asia, South America, all over Europe, and thanks to everyone in England as well, where we do it from in a little room in London. Keep going to rickygervais.com and registering, because so when we finish these 12, we can email you when we come back and start again. We're going to need a little bit of time off to record the second series of extras.
Well, I'll tell you more than that, Rick. You're going to need some time off just to have a little breather, because I know how hard you work.
And you, mate.
Well, thanks, mate, but I mean, you blinking work hard.
But Karl's been on holiday again, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah, because, Karl, you don't do anything.
And you have weekends off. You take at least 5 or 6 weeks holiday a year, even though you haven't got a job now. You're meant to be doing this, and yet you still
So
go
your
on
whole
holiday.
life's a holiday, basically.
Yeah, why do you need a holiday? You potter around. Your big day last week was going to the cobblers. So why do you need a break so much this week?
It's just that, you know, it's good for your brain and that, isn't it? It opens it up a bit.
You are not evidence for that.
Where did you go?
Gran Canaria.
For a week?
Yeah.
Just sitting around?
Well, there isn't much else to do at Gran Canaria. I mean, I don't want to go slagging a place off, because every time I seem to talk about somewhere, get into trouble for it.
Right.
But it's just like a big rock. It's just volcanic, innit?
And you must have looked like a little barnacle on that.
Have you been there before?
Been near it before to another rock, which was just.
But
it was
what,
the
you
same
had your
sort of
fingers
thing.
burned, why did you go back?
Because you think, well, they can't have loads of these islands that are the same, like just a big rock with hotels on. They can't get away with it. So you think,
And they
well, the
obviously
next
are
one.
getting away with it. But why do you keep going to these places that are rocks? Why don't you investigate first? Ask your travel agent, is this a giant rock?
Because that's what you do, innit? You go and find out yourself. I mean, when Armstrong went to the moon, what was he expecting up there? That's a fact. That's a big rock, and he still went all that way.
I don't know what that point was.
No,
Fair enough.
so what I'm saying is, though, sometimes
Tell us about the moon landing. As you started it, what do you know about that? You know, because I mean, so far you've given us a lot of insight into the moon landing. So there was Armstrong.
There was Armstrong and that.
Yeah.
There was fella called Buzz
Yeah.
and another bloke,
Yeah. Poor bastard.
Yeah, never remembered.
Yeah, go on.
and they went up there, got out. 2 of them did. One of them didn't bother. The one whose name, don't know who he was. Didn't even get out, stretch his legs, right? Went all that way. They had a potter about, had a wander, came back again.
Yeah.
So, that's all you need to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in
they-
your opinion, pointless?
To me, yeah. But to them, I'm sure they had a good time, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you just take the risk, don't you? Go and visit a place, make up your own mind.
And so, what do you make of this place? You enjoy it, Gran Canaria? It was just a big rock, but did you
I bet the moon was better.
Really?
What did you do?
It was just, you know, it's one of them. It's big hotel, which is that's where I made a mistake. It was one of those like big, massive places where there's loads of people, and you know, you go for your dinner.
That describes a hotel.
Yeah.
No,
Sounds like
no,
one to me.
You've nailed that.
I've been to a few, that sounds like it.
No, but do you know what I mean? Though there's the nice small ones where it's just enough people, but this is like mental, and it was all, it was full of old people, really.
Ugh.
I mean, that's probably why it's called Gran Canaria, right? Because it's just
Grannies
old people.
everywhere.
Yeah, right. But what I thought I'd start doing is start a diary.
Okay, why?
Just because I sort of had a bit of time on my hands and that. Just thought, write it down, write stuff down.
And do you hope that this one day will become one of the great literary documents like Samuel Pepys' diary?
I haven't heard of that. Is it any good?
You've never heard of Samuel Pepys' diary?
No,
the most famous diary, other than probably Anne Frank's.
I've heard of Anne Frank's and that, and I thought if she's sat in a loft, knocking stuff up, not much going on in her life at that point, yet she was still writing it down.
Yeah, whereas you've been to Gran Canaria, yeah.
I thought, so there is stuff going on that I can chat about. Start a diary.
Sure.
You started a diary?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do? Did you keep it up every day?
Yeah, just,
Oh, can I read it, please?
Well, a diary is meant to be sort of...
Please, can I read some out on this podcast? Karl...
Some of it, though, is only relevant to me. It's sort of...
Oh, this is... Please, give me it. Oh, my God.
I mean, this isn't... I haven't just...
Look how big it is!
It's one of those desk diaries.
It's huge. It's about a foot long, and it's oh, that is amazing. Imagine if Anne Frank's had been like that. As she got out, right, everyone would have heard it clank down on the desk.
Yeah, but my writing's quite big, isn't it?
Oh, look, give us that.
Do you know about joined up writing? Have you heard about
There's
that?
no point.
Amazing.
Sometimes you can't read it, can you? So it's best to look at
oh,
ancient
look,
times.
oh my God, it starts on the first day. This is wonderful. Going on holiday to Gran Canaria today. Woke up to the news that Tony Banks had died. There was a piece on the news about how everyone was shocked. Got me thinking about an invention that would be good. Right. A watch that counted down your life. If it says you've got 3 days left, go to the doctors. Told Suzanne about invention. She said she wouldn't buy one. But she said that about the iPod.
How would this device work, this watch? I mean, how would you know when you were about to die? Is that a concern? Again, not for you to worry about, presumably the boffins and the
No, all I was thinking is that Tony Banks fella, he died and everyone was shocked about it. But if you had like a little watch on...
But how does it work? You can't just say, wouldn't it be good? How would this work? Yeah, I imagine you in the patent office going, got an idea? They go, oh, certainly, Mr. Pilkington, what's your idea? Watch that counting down your life? Oh, how does that work?
Just wear it, just pop it on your wrist.
No, what do you mean, just pop it on your wrist? How does it work? Just pop it on your wrist. Brilliant. You're an idiot.
Well, it's interesting that he goes on. The flight to Gran Canaria was a bit bumpy. I thought about the clock that counts down your life again, and I wondered if it would know if you were going to die in a disaster. No, he's querying his own design.
He's wondering if it would know. He's invented this.
And now he's not even sure. A fella on the plane was reading Koi Mag. It was a fishing magazine. I glanced over and noticed he was reading the Pond of the Month article. Don't think they could make it into a weekly magazine. Well, to be fair to you, because I remember seeing a guy on the train once reading Carp Monthly, a magazine dedicated entirely to carp, and it had Carp of the Month. And I just thought, once you're like 3 months in, the editor must be stressing, have we got any more carp? Have we got a carp that's actually done anything?
I reckon if they used the same one twice, there wouldn't be many complaints.
No one would be noticing.
No, that's the carp they used 2 years ago.
There was a really fat bloke on the plane. He was playing on his PSP. While I waited to go to the toilet, I looked at what game he was playing. It was darts. He's that fat and lazy, he can't even face playing a more active game on a games console. Me and Suzanne got off the coach along with a couple of old people. One of them was in a wheelchair. I don't think it was wise of them to come to a volcanic island with a wheelchair. Everywhere's pretty rough, paving and slopey. Guess I'll keep an eye on it as the weeks go on. Day 2 in Gran Canaria.
Brilliant, we're only at day 2.
The hotel's a bit odd. I've never seen as many cross-eyed people in one location.
That's enough, isn't it?
That's amazing!
Well, you may as well let me read on a bit more.
No, this is amazing.
Well, come back to
This
it
is a
later
brilliant diary. This might be the best diary ever written. Oh.
While sat listening to the Kinks on my iPod, I wondered if everybody thinks in their accent. I know I do. What's this? What are you talking about?
Just that, when I've been sat there lying on the lounger, right, and I was thinking about stuff.
How do you know you think in your accent? Tell me a typical thought.
Because what I mean is, say if I was like, if I saw something, right, do you know how I say, like, oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
No, but
that was
I don't have
said.
to. But when you think, I don't think the sentence is like I'm saying it. It's just a thought. The thought appears. It's conceptual and it's already there. It's not like I go, Rick, what? Just looking at that fellow over there, were you? Yeah, I was. Yeah. I was thinking it looks a bit weird. Oh, so was I. I don't think out whole sentences.
Whereas you have Karl, stop listening to the Kinks for a minute. Look over there. More cross-eyed people.
No, well, that's
Is that how your mind works?
In a way, yeah. And
Brilliant.
that's when, because I
That
thought,
explains a lot.
It's great that he has to think about whole sentences.
because I thought, that's weird, isn't it? Like, I didn't think, that's weird, isn't it? And I thought, I actually think in my accent. And then I thought, does Stephen Hawking, does he, when he's doing his maths and that, is he, I don't know where he's from, so I don't know what his accent would be like.
I think he's from Kent or Cambridge or Oxford or something.
Right, so,
So you think he might think in his
voice, in that voice
the
box
computerised
thing.
voice?
Just wondered.
Had lunch inside today due to shite weather. Sat next to an old fella. Old men's ears and noses carry on growing as they get older. Suzanne noticed his fingers were fat too. Maybe they continue to grow. Suzanne didn't laugh when I said her arse had the same problem. Day 3, cloudy start to the day. Had pie and chips in a cafe. Had a bit of an argument with Suzanne because I thought it was daft that we were paying for food when we were on an all-inclusive holiday. Changed my mind when I saw they sold pie though. The cafe was called Tattoos. The fellow who owned it didn't have any tattoos. But we never saw his wife.
Oh, brilliant.
Had a drink in a bar. Everyone sat and watched one of the local cats lick its bollocks.
It's the greatest holiday in the world. That's the entertainment in that town.
Went back to the hotel and had a sleep before tea. I love the fact you're moaning about old people, but you're just as bad.
You've done nothing so far.
He said nothing, he's got a big tip.
Oh, God.
Woke up to news about ducks being badly treated. There was a really ugly one with bent legs.
I'm gonna die. Why does he write this down? Oh, God. Oh.
There is a fat bloke from Bolton who is in the pool as I write this. He's got a big tattoo on his back, but I can't work out what it is. ... He just got out of the pool and burped. You just felt like you had to keep us abreast of that.
He's got everything's in the diary. I just seen it get to the point where you're going, breathed in,
Yeah.
breathed out again.
There was a big fat fella in the sea who kept his t-shirt on. If you're big and fat, is there more chance of you getting burnt because there's more of you on show? I asked Suzanne and she said she didn't know in that sort of not listening kind of way. I wanted to hang about to see if the fat bloke was going to get in the kayak, but Suzanne said we had to head back. Just let him wait in to see if he's going to capsize. We go home today, so we got up early to get the last bit of cloud.
No, it's just that it wasn't. It's not that sunny all the time. I mean, I was sat in weather that if it was like that here, there's no way I'd be sat in the garden. But because you're on holiday, it's like, well, we got to sit in it. Put your coat on.
So are you going to continue to write this diary? Every single day?
It's amazing. Keep this diary up. It's amazing.
No, I will keep it up because what I find as well is I think earlier on before I went away, I think I did learn something, and because I wrote it down, I remembered it a bit better. So
What was that?
I just was thinking then, I forgot it now, but but I remembered looking back at it and not having to read it all because I remembered the end of it before I read it, if you know what I mean.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, if you've enjoyed the diary of Karl Pilkington, more next week, I hope. Another week's worth. That's amazing. I'm going to try and get that published. We'll put the odd page up on the web. Go to rickygervais.com. Don't forget to register there as well so we can email you and let you know what's happening. Brilliant.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Hey, fool! Don't give me no back chat, sucker! I ain't here to mess with you, I ain't getting in no plane. I'm here to tell you all about Friday night comedy on Channel 4. There's 3 great new comedies. New Green Wing, Yeah Fool, that's nearly ready. My Name is Earl, and The Egg Crowd. They're great new comedy from the creator of Father Ted, sucker. Friday night comedy, this Friday on Channel 4, fool. Switch it on, or I'll be round your house. You stay up all night shivering, 'cause you be so mad scared. Fool.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Rick, who hosts this podcast?
The guys at Positive Internet, why?
Now, I know you're a big fan of those guys.
Yeah, because they're brilliant.
Well, yeah, they are, and I tell you, they're working overtime. Because we've had an email from Jake, who's the director at Positive Internet, and apparently he's been in touch with the editor of the Guinness World Records book.
Oh, right.
And he's hoping to see if we can get this podcast in the Guinness World Record breaking section, or the podcast world record breaking section, or whatever they call it. I don't know exactly what record we'd have broken. I assume it's just sheer number of listeners, is it? Or
Yeah,
being
with
the number one?
it's the number one podcast, and it's the biggest downloaded show ever at the moment.
Right.
I think that's because people have only had podcasts for a couple of years.
Yes, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know when the next issue comes out. I guess it's sort of December time.
I used to get the Guinness Book of Records every year. I love it.
I've never understood why it was such a big seller. I mean, presumably, who's excited to find out whether, you know, I don't know, a man that can balance 3 egg cups on his head has beaten the record?
Well,
the
they're
next
real
year?
records as well, obviously. I used to go straight for that. I really loved the sort of animals, fastest, strongest, all that sort of thing, biggest.
But aren't they the same every year?
Well, no, they do change, and obviously there's new entries to keep it exciting. But what annoys me is that it looks like anyone can get in if you're willing to do something that no one else will bother with.
Yeah.
They did one on Big Brother where it was the stacking sugar cubes, and I was thinking, well, no one's going to bother beating that.
No.
There's people that walk along with a milk bottle on their head. And no one's going, oh, I'm a bit jealous of Bill. Why? He's broken the record. What? For walking along with a milk bottle on his head? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go into training tomorrow. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but I do like the real ones. There was one in there I got on a couple of years ago, and it was about disasters. And there was one where there was some big ornamental incense burners at this thing in I think Thailand or Korea or somewhere, and they fell over. And they killed 7 of the congregation. And the headline was biggest joss stick disaster. Now again, there's no one trying to beat that. There's no one going, we need 8.
Yeah.
We need 8 people. We're going for it tonight. What do I have to do? You have to stand quite near those big joss sticks. Okay.
And what record am I breaking again?
We'll tell you after. Also, I think a lot of people waste their energy on this because there's one guy in there that can do the 100 metres in 11 seconds running backwards. And I want to say to him, turn round. Because I think you'd be fast forwards, you know,
Yeah,
if you'd have only, from the age of 10, sort of, like, you might be, you know, one of the fastest runners in the world.
Because you're never going to be considered one of the great athletes for doing it
No one
backwards.
knows about him. That's not going to ever be an Olympic sport, running backwards. Or, and now the 100 metres. Oh, one of them's putting a milk bottle on his head.
yeah. This is one to watch. There was a guy in there, I've always been fascinated by the guy, he had, the world's longest fingernails. And they were truly extraordinary. And they went out and they started to curl around, obviously. And in the end, he almost looked like sort of there was a big spiral of gnarled old fingernail. But I just thought, it just seemed like such a terrible affliction, really, to be walking around, you know, with these giant fingernails. So much you can't do. Just missing out on, you know, Jeff, you coming bowling? I can't. You know, just so many different things that you miss out on. I've never quite understood who's willing to have this eat into their life. You know, it's going to take over their whole life just so they can have their photo in this book. It seems a very bizarre impulse. Karl, have you ever been tempted by any world-breaking attempts? Do you find them fascinating or futile?
I mean, you don't get paid or anything, do you?
No. They do it for the pride.
But say like the fella who can run with a milk bottle, could he get a milk round? Do you know what I mean? I can understand that if you can use the skill, but like you say, if it's getting in the way of your life and that, then what's the point?
There was a kid at school who said, I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. I went, oh yeah. He said, no, I am. And he brought it in. And now I don't know if this is a valid claim. He claimed to have been in the audience for what, in this particular edition, was labelled, you know, the largest audience ever for a sporting event. Some giant Super Bowl game in America. And he claimed to have been in the audience. Now, do you think he deserves to say he's in the Guinness Book of Records?
Sort of. I think that's a lot. As it was the largest audience ever, I think a lot of people can claim that one. I mean,
if he wanted to get a name check on doing that, he would have been best saying, I was sat in the audience in a bath of beans. Because then that would add to it, and you get a little, you know, they'd have you in the picture, wouldn't they? So,
he's Mr.
do it
Trick
that
there.
way. Yeah.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Harry from Canterbury wants to know whether any of us have ever had any cruel nicknames. He claims that he's quite tall and rather hirsute, and he says he's often called Lurch or Wolfie. He's always thought that Karl looks a bit like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah. No, there's no potato that round, but I suppose you could fashion a potato to be that round. Maybe we could, if anyone can carve a potato into the roundest head ever, pop a couple of eyes on it.
Make it look as much like Karl as possible.
Exactly.
But yeah, any nicknames? Did you ever have a nickname, Rick?
No, mine was boring. I didn't have any. It was just around the name, like Jerv or something like that. No, I didn't have nicknames.
I always wanted a nickname. I just thought it was quite cool for some reason, particularly because gangsters always seem to have nicknames. You
Lefty.
know, Fingers.
Yeah.
Lefty, yeah. Scarface.
Yeah.
And so I decided that I thought, because no one was giving me a nickname at school, it was kind of annoying, or certainly not to my face, that I decided to just come up with one.
Yeah.
And so I remember I was at lunch once, and I just said to my mate Phil.
How old were you?
12, 13.
Brilliant.
I just said to him, Phil, don't know if you know, mate, but, people aren't calling me Steve anymore. Everyone's calling me Spud now. Now, I don't know why I thought Spud. It's weird. We should talk about this, Mr. Ted. I don't know why I thought Spud was a cool nickname. I think
It's a grown-up name, though, isn't it?
and it's also because I think it sounded like it was probably either something that you'd find in one of those kids' books, like the Famous Five, or like the Bash Street Kids. There'd be Spud, and I always imagine with Spud, he's not the leader of the gang, but he's a reliable member.
I think
You know what I mean?
Spud is the biggest lorry driver in one particular sort of car park.
Yeah.
And here comes Spud.
Yeah.
And he gets out, all right, boys. And he's big and massive, and Spud can eat 2 breakfasts.
Exactly, yeah. But I just, in my mind, it was, that I would be one day part of a gang, and it's, I'm Pinky, this is Jojo, and the tall guy's Spud.
And you didn't catch on,
never
did it?
really caught. And he just went, oh yeah, right. And no one started, and I was hoping he'd go, everyone's calling Steve Spud.
Yeah.
But of course.
Hey, Spud, the first time I said Spud, you go, what?
Yeah, exactly.
You'd be really proud, wouldn't you?
But I think that it kind of, actually in a way, it probably revealed that I just was probably not in people's thoughts enough to get for the nickname to catch on, because you sort of need to be a real player in the school.
I think you should have gone something more memorable. I mean, I'm not saying a goggle-eyed freak or anything.
What?
No, just...
Well, no, it's good advice, Fatty. fatty pot
That's
belly.
the problem, I wasn't fat at school, and I suppose Karl didn't have a round bald head at school, did you?
No.
No.
Did you have a nickname?
Not really. I mean, there was a lot of people on the estate that I grew up on. Nicknames are big things on estates and that.
Yeah.
A lot of my dad's mates, right? What their nicknames did was tell you about them. Do you know how I said about the Elephant Man's a good name?
Yeah.
Because, you know what you're going to get. If someone said, Elephant Man's popping round in a bit, it wouldn't be a shock when he walked in.
Yeah.
Right? So it worked in that sort of thing. So there was John the Screw, right?
John the Screw?
Yeah.
Well, he had sex a lot, or he worked in a prison?
No, he had a DIY shop. So you had him, right? There was Fred the Veg.
Yeah.
Which is...
I assume it's because he was at the same IQ as you.
Or he was in a coma.
Yeah.
Right.
There was my uncle, Tattoo Stan.
All right.
Yeah. He had like loads of tattoos that he'd just done himself.
Oh my God.
The problem was, because he did his tattoos himself, the ones on his left arm were really good. Because he was right-handed. On his right hand, rubbish. Right? So there was him.
Great.
And there was Jimmy the Hat.
Jimmy the Hat?
Yeah.
Did he always wear a hat?
No, he didn't. That was the point there. That he never wore a hat.
That's amazing.
Brilliant.
How can you pick up on someone never wearing a hat? How would you ever notice? I'll tell you what, I've noticed something about Jimmy. What?
Go on.
He doesn't wear a hat. Why was he not called Jimmy the Parrot? Because he never carries a parrot.
No, but that's just the way. I mean, that's how they work in it.
Here comes Jimmy Three Legs. Why'd you call him that? He hasn't got 3 legs.
I didn't really have one apart from, I had a CB. Like when you'd go on a CB radio and have a chat to people.
Oh, this was a craze in the, was it late 70s, early 80s?
Early 80s.
And, it was just short band radio, wasn't it? Everyone had these little handsets and they'd speak to each other in the sort of local area.
Yeah, it was mainly, I think it started off with like
lorry
truckers
drivers,
and
isn't it? Yeah, truckers, yeah, because there was that thing from like about 1977,
Convoy.
it was Convoy, yeah.
Yeah, so I had one of them, and my handle, I had 2
Handle
different names.
means your nickname, your
yeah,
name.
there's loads of code stuff.
Yeah.
I had a couple. I had, there was Pilky 01, because like I say, there's a lot of Pilkingtons and that in Manchester, so I just thought, give it a number. If someone wants Pilky 02, it's open. Do you know what I mean? They can have it. And then,
like it's people scrabbling for, I want a Pilky 01.
And then, because I did boxing and that.
Well, you did it once.
Yeah.
Well, I'd Boxer Boy, because I thought that's quite a good image as well. That's kind of like people going, oh, don't mess with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he asks what your handle is, tell him. Do you know what I mean? It's Boxer Boy and that.
Yeah.
So, just had them 2, and I used to just go on there and
pointless. What is the point of this?
Well, you just meet people, don't you?
And you
So
don't meet people. You say, "What's your handle?" You go, "Box boy." "What's yours?" Rubber duck. All right, cheers.
No,
It's
but
ridiculous.
then you'll say like, then you go, "Oh, what's your 20?"
What's that mean?
That's where are you?
Well, why don't you say, "Where are you?"
Because just in case there's someone who's listening in who you know, you hear about this all the time, don't you? People listening, jotting stuff down.
Oh, right. So, just in case someone in the world doesn't know what handle means, they're out of the loop. They're out of the loop.
It's not a difficult code to crack, is it? If
Yeah.
you're trying to track someone.
It's hardly the head of the mafia talking to each other because the FBI are on the wire. It's ridiculous. Like, I go, "Oh, he keeps saying that, what's your handle?" and they come back with something else. I can't work out what's going on.
No, it's like anything, isn't it? That's what codes are all about, isn't it? You set them up and that.
Go on, and tell me the code then.
Reveal at long last to the world what
Yeah.
these codes are.
Right, so
Yeah.
what's your 20? Where
Oh,
are you?
this is better than the Enigma.
Yeah.
Right, now here we go.
Right.
How many candles are you burning?
Does that mean how big's your car or something like that? Horsepower or something?
See? No, that's
Oh,
how old
what
are you?
time is it?
No, how old are you?
How old are you? Okay.
Right.
Right.
How many candles are you burning, of course?
Yeah.
So what's the answer come back?
You go,
I'm 15.
14.
Brilliant. That code, there's no one gonna work that out. There is no one gonna work that one out.
So let's just play through this conversation. Give us an example of how it worked.
Right, so you turn it on and that, and you start off, and there was something that you said at the start, like
Hello.
just
Breaker.
yeah, breaker, do you copy or whatever?
Yeah.
Then someone will go,
What does one copy mean?
No,
What his name
I want
was.
to hear because I want to hear the fascinating conversations that Karl must have had.
Yeah.
and you go, alright, it's Boxer Boy, yeah?
What's
And
your
he goes,
20?
What's your 20? And you go, well, just I'm in Manchester.
In the flat.
Oh, right.
And they go, right, yeah. How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
You go, oh, I'm 13.
Oh.
So
And that's the end, is it?
then you might sort of say what was it? It was something like what am I burning? Right?
Using burning again.
Confusing, but go on, yeah. What am I burning? The bacon, because I'm busy talking to you, you twat.
That's like what's my power? What strength am I coming in at?
Oh, yeah.
Because then you can tell if they're quite close to you. So if you're getting someone burning a 1,
We've told them. We said, "Wait, what's your 20?" You go, I'm in Macclesfield Street."
Yeah, but
oh,
then-
right.
but then you
Wonder
go-
where they are. We've just told you. Wonder how far away they are.
but then you go, oh, that's interesting because you're burning, burning 3. I don't normally get a 3.
This is the least interesting hobby
do you know what
could ever do.
I wish you'd have kept a diary of this, because this has been fascinating.
Now and again, someone will come in and go side on, right?
What's that mean?
And that means like there's someone sat there listening into this chat and going, "This sounds interesting,"
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
and they want to join in, so they sort of go side on. You go side on, bring it in, right? And they go, "All right."
How many candles are you burning?
Yeah. What's your 20?
That's it goes round again.
Yeah.
See you later. What's your 20? How many candles are you burning?
Oh.
And, I mean, it seems to me that what you should have done is made a note the first time, so that when you then speak to them again, you don't need to ask them those questions. Can I just confirm that you're burning 15? It's that time again. Do the jingle.
Okay. I'm gonna do a really good one.
Okay, go.
Okay. Oh, chimpanzee that! Monkey news, yeah.
Right, do you know it's nearly time for the Winter Olympics again.
Okay.
Is it? Okay.
They sort of come round every 4 years.
Is it this year, is it?
Yeah, and the last one that happened,
4 years ago. Yeah.
there was a bit of an incident.
Oh no.
Oh, well, I'd know about this then, because it would be
Well, it'd be
Well-
big news because it's a well-known.
televised as
event.
well.
Yeah.
It's,
Do you remember any winners that were monkeys in any of the
no,
tournaments?
of course
No,
not.
No.
So,
Yeah.
there's
So
it's
anyway-
not going to be that, because it wouldn't be true. Go
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So anyway, one of the popular events, bobsleigh.
Okay, right.
It works.
Well, you
It's
need
like a
4
sleigh.
men. Is it 4 men or 5
4
men?
men,
It's 4. So it's definitely 4 men that you need
Needs
on a
4 men.
bobsleigh team.
Is it? And there's 2 team bobsleighs. as
But
well.
they're always men. Is that right, Rick?
Well, yeah, they have to be.
Anyway,
Humans.
so
Humans.
Well, that's be humans.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the
okay.
Winter Olympics for
Yeah, so let me just clarify. With the Winter Olympics, you can't have any animals taking part.
No, and they also, well, no, because they wouldn't be allowed, and two, there's no way they could disguise it, because not only would they see it straight away, right, but they have blood tests.
Right, okay, so,
which would show up.
So they definitely know if it was
Well, they're
any
blood
kind of
tests.
non-human.
It's impossible. It would be literally impossible to have anything other than a human
Taking
involved
part.
in a bobsleigh team.
Fine, okay, so carry on.
So anyway, this country, I don't want to name them because they try to shake off this sort of, this bad news.
Oh, yeah, and you don't know.
And
It's
it
not
didn't
true.
happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, the country was doing really well in the qualifying stages.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem was there was like 2 members who were getting all like the press and stuff,
Oh, right, yeah.
and one of them never got a look in. Right.
How tall was he?
Anyway, so this one member was getting fed up because the other 2 were getting all the press and what have you. So he said, "I'm not happy with this.
Yeah.
I'm jacking it in." So they were like, "You're joking? We've qualified. We're getting into like the main race and everything. You can't leave us now." And he said, "Well, you could do it all on your own before. The way you were acting and that, you didn't need me, so I'm going." So they were like, "Oh."
Well, they need to replace him because there's a certain amount of people needed.
So anyway, so the clock's ticking. It's getting close to the big race and everything.
Of course it is, yeah.
They're like, "What are we going to do here?"
The substitute
Right?
they took with them.
What are they
Well,
going
they
to do?
must have,
Yeah, they would take the substitute, so get him
No,
on.
they didn't have any of them and that. It's,
What?
a lot of injuries and stuff.
Or just get a mate to do it, just get a mate or a friend
Yeah,
or the coach to do it, yeah.
But, there's a lot of responsibility on these people and, you won't want to let your country down and that. And they're like, what are we going to do?
Get a waiter or anyone in the
Anyway,
hotel.
the time comes to the race. Seems to be 3 people on it.
There appears to be 3, okay, yeah.
They start off, they're whizzing around the track faster than normal. They're beating their old records.
Right, amazing.
Because the new fella they've got a little bit smaller.
Ah!
Right?
Is he in?
So
Is he in the bobsleigh? Or is he pushing?
He's in it.
Oh, right, okay.
Right?
He's wearing a uniform and a helmet, though. We
He's
can't
got
see what he
helmet
looks like.
on,
We
he's
can't
got
see
the
his
kit
face.
on.
Can't see his face.
Nobody knows who he is, but the
course they do.
country's loving it.
Of course
They're
do.
like, well, it looks like we're going to break all our records, Good. It's good that they found someone new.
Yeah.
Bet the other fella who left is sort of kicking himself, thinking, I could have been part of this. Anyway,
This wasn't a bloke that had very short legs and long arms, was it?
what happened is they're whizzing round the track and what have you,
Faster than ever, yeah.
faster than ever, and the press are like going, beating all records here. They started taking photographs. Lot of flashing. Lot of flashes from the cameras and stuff.
Right, of course.
Suddenly, the bobsleigh goes a bit sort of mental and whizzes off the track, right, into like all the tyres and stuff that they have for protective.
Oh, they love tyres, don't they? Bobsleigh members. Some of them sometimes you can find them swinging in one, or maybe eating a banana.
Ambulance comes rushing over and stuff. The other 2 members are looking pretty nervous for some reason.
Oh, what are they doing?
They're saying, look, don't take the helmet off because, you can do more damage to the
Well,
neck.
don't tell the paramedics how to do it.
They know their job.
Yeah,
they know their
yeah,
job.
yeah.
So they were
Please,
like, just and plus, he came in at last minute to help us out. He doesn't want everyone to know who he is. He's
Yeah.
not after the limelight
Yeah.
like some of the members we used to have. But he just was helping his country out.
Yeah.
Leave the helmet on. Anyway, they get him in the ambulance and stuff. The other 2 are looking a bit worried and what have you. They're gutted. They lost the race.
The little bloke, is the bloke not saying anything? Is he not?
He's in the ambulance now.
Is he not saying anything though?
Anyway, word got out, right, from one of the ambulance drivers a few weeks down the line, once all the dust had settled on the Olympics and stuff, and light news day and stuff.
Yeah.
It was reported that one of the ambulance drivers said that on that sort of dreadful night, when the country lost out on a medal in the bobsleigh, he sort of reported that there was a monkey in the back of the ambulance. People were like going, you're joking.
I don't remember this. I don't remember this at all.
Well, this is it, you see, because they sort of swept it under the carpet a little bit.
right.
They were like, this
Bullshit.
is crazy talk.
It's all shit.
This is crazy talk.
Once talk. Absolute shit. Where'd you get this from?
This is crazy talk, right?
It is
But-
crazy talk, and it's from the mouth of Karl Pilkington.
But the weird thing is that backed it up. Following week, there was a story of some people who visited the zoo saw a chimp in a neck brace. And that's this week's Monkey News.
Bollocks.
Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back. I'm here to tell you about Friday night comedies on Channel 4. There's 3 great comedies. New Green Wing, it's nearly ready. My Name is Earl and The It Crowd. The great new comedy from creator of Father Ted. Get your ass to Mars. Friday night comedy this Friday on Channel 4. Switch it on. I'll be back. Uzi 9mm. 'Cause they did it.